Highlights from the Navy's 67th Annual Rim of the Pacific exercises, held at Pearl Harbor Joint Base in Hawaii. Watch 40 ships and submarines participating in joint formation maneuvers and maritime exercises, including a time-lapse departure of Navy vessels from Pearl Harbor after the conclusion of RIMPAC.
Chilean Navy frigate CNS Almirante Cochrane arrives at Joint Base, Pearl Harbor-Hickam, for RIMPAC 2016. Guided missile destroyer U.S.S. Stockdale arrives at Joint Base, Pearl Harbor-Hickam.
Guided missile destroyer U.S.S. William P. Lawrence arrives at the Joint Base in Hawaii. Nimitz-class aircraft carrier U.S.S. John C. Stennis arrives at Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam during RIMPAC. Republic of Indonesia Navy Diponegoro class corvette KRI Diponegoro arrives at Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam.
Republic of Korea submarine Roxley Eokji arrives at Joint Base for RIMPAC. Royal Australian Navy Anzac-class frigate H.M.A.S. Ballarat arrives at Joint Base. French Floreal-class frigate F.S. Prairial arrives at Joint Base, Pearl Harbor-Hickam for RIMPAC.
Royal Australian Navy Anzac-class frigate H.M.A.S. Warramunga arrives at Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam. Royal Australian Navy Canberra-class amphibious ship H.M.A.S. Canberra arrives at Joint Base. Royal Canadian Navy Halifax-class frigate H.M.C.S. Calgary arrives at Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam. Royal Australian Navy H.M.A.S. Warramunga arrives at Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam. The crew mans the rails as they approach.
The crew mans the rails of the Royal New Zealand Navy H.M.S. Tikaya, as it is being moored by a tugboat at the Naval Joint Base in Pearl Harbor.
U.S. Navy Fleet Oiler U.S.S. Henry J. Kaiser arrives at Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam.
Military Seal of Command Fleet Replenishment Oiler U.S.S. Rappahannock evening arrival at Joint Base in Hawaii. Royal Canadian Navy ship H.M.C.S. Vancouver participates in Rim of the Pacific exercises.
Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force destroyer helicopter ship J.S. Hyuga steams in close formation as one of 40 ships and submarines.
Republic of Korea, the Great-class destroyer Sejong the Great steams in close formation during joint exercises.
Chinese Navy submarine rescue ship Chengkou transits in close formation. French frigate Prairial in close formation during RIMPAC exercises.
U.S. Coast Guard cutter USCG Stratton in close formation. Military Seal of Command Fast Combat Support Ship U.S.S. Rainier steams in close formation.
Military Seal of Command Fleet replenishment oiler U.S.S. Rappahannock participates in fleet exercises. Guided missile cruiser, U.S.S. Mobile Bay, steams in close formation as one of 40 ships and submarines. Arleigh class, guided missile destroyer, U.S.S. Pinckney during formation exercises.
Guided missile destroyer, U.S.S. Stockdale, participates in formation exercises. Arleigh class, guided missile destroyer, U.S.S. Shoop, steams in close formation. Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, guided missile destroyer, Kukai, participates in 40 ships and submarines, close formation exercise. Arleigh class, guided missile destroyer, U.S.S. Howard, participates in exercises.
Chinese Navy, guided missile destroyer Xi'an, in close formation during RIMPAC. Republic of Indonesia Navy, Diponegoro class corvette, KRI Diponegoro, in close formation exercises. Royal Australian Navy, Anzac class frigate, H.M.A.S. Ballarat during formation exercises.
We did some
The
maneuvers
H.M.A.S. Canberra
try and line
performs
up
well-deck
to,
operations.
gauge what size of vehicles we could onload or offload in the well of the Canberra. So everything came together. A lot of planning went into this evolution, and to see it actually, come through, that in itself was a pretty big success for us.
Today was achieved for the first time of my knowledge to ever land an amphibious assault vehicle aboard an Australian ship. So being able to work that out with the H.M.A.S. Canberra was a definite win today as far as training and interoperability for the exercise of RIMPAC.
Today was a proving point to get it through the dock and to get it onto the tank deck, and then from there swim it back through the dock. So all in all, today was very successful.
I think the Australians and the Americans have always had a really good working relationship, and to be able to experience it on board was pretty rewarding experience.
Canadian Forces Underwater Operations Exercise at RIMPAC 2016. Los Angeles class, attack submarine U.S.S. Santa Fe, arrives at Joint Base after participating in the at-sea exercise phase of RIMPAC.
Guided missile cruiser, U.S.S. Mobile Bay, departs Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam, following the conclusion of RIMPAC.
Guided missile destroy, U.S.S. Stockdale, departs Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam, following the conclusion of RIMPAC 2016. The crew of the Chinese Navy, multi-role frigate Hengshui, man the rails as the ship departs the harbor at the conclusion of RIMPAC. Chinese Navy replenishment ship, Gaori departs Joint Base. Republic of Indonesia Navy, class corvette KRI Diponegoro, departs Joint Base after RIMPAC. Royal Australian Navy, Canberra-class amphibious ship H.M.A.S. Canberra, departs following the conclusion of RIMPAC 2016.
Amphibious assault ship U.S.S. America, departs after the conclusion of RIMPAC. This video was made possible with footage from Defense Video Imagery Distribution System, and Navy Public Affairs Support Element Detachment Hawaii. RIM of the Pacific 2016, hosted 26 nations, more than 40 ships and submarines, more than 200 aircraft, and 25,000 personnel participated in RIMPAC, in and around the Hawaiian Islands and Southern California. You are watching a time-lapse of naval ships departing Pearl Harbor. The Australian Anzac-class frigate Ballarat, and Indian Shivalik-class stealth frigate INS Satpura, and Korean destroyer Kangamchan, and Korean Great-class destroyer Sejong, and Indonesia-class corvette Diponegoro, and guided missile cruiser U.S.S. Mobile Bay, and combat ship U.S.S. Coronado, and guided missile destroyer U.S.S. Stockade, and military sea lift command, fleet ocean tug Navajo. RIM of the Pacific is the world's largest international maritime exercise, and provides a unique training opportunity that helps participants foster and sustain the cooperative relationships that are critical to ensuring the safety of sea lanes and security on the world's oceans.